Let's talk about MCPS. That seems to be the hot topic du jour. Scandal after scandal, and appears to repeat itself at all levels, particularly the higher level of the administration. Mike, I wrote this script about a week ago, and since then there have been a lot of moving parts. So, is the superintendent Monifa McKnight, is she going to be able to survive?
I think it's going to be a real challenge, and unfortunately, I think she's going to fight it, and I think that she's probably within her rights to do so. But I think it's going to make we're in a very challenging time for MCPS as a result of coming out of pandemic and seeing the reduction in test scores that we've seen, and then just the actual challenges we have with what we've seen with the sexual harassment issues. And so I think when you look at all those pieces, to add this on top of that just makes things even more challenging. And we're focusing on all of the extracurriculars and not actually how do we educate our children better. And I think this is just one more distraction. I think it's gonna be hard for her to withstand it, but I think it's just we're turning our attention away from where our attention needs to be, which is how do we make our kids do better in school?
Well, Adam Pagnucco posed a very interesting question yesterday. It's he analyzed the law and who has the right to fire the superintendent, and basically no one has the right to fire the superintendent, but the county council does have the right. Maybe you can correct me, Mike, but the county council does have the right to fire the school board.
The county council has the right to fire the school board, individual school board members, but I disagree. I think that the Board of Education has the right to remove the superintendent, but they actually have to make sure that they've documented appropriately to do it. And while it's difficult for us on the outside looking in to see where they're addressing a personnel matter, at least the way it's been portrayed, it doesn't appear as though the Board of Education is necessarily taking those steps for the appropriate documentation for that removal to occur, which is where this is going to become really interesting.
Stacey, what was I admit that the Mike is probably correct on that I missed that point. What is your view on all of this?
Well, the short answer is yes, I think that she should resign. Do I think that she will? No, not immediately. And a few of the reasons why, as I see it, is that you've got this monolithic MCPS. They're not used to playing defense, but they are now. And if she resigns, then it's the practical equivalent of her taking full responsibility for what happened. The county can then wash its hands of the problem and move on saying that it was her fault. Also, we don't know what's in her contract. And so what kind of protection she has if she's forced to resign, or rather if her contract is just up, she likely stands to benefit monetarily by hanging in there and forcing their hand. When I read how Khalid Walker, the Department of Compliance and Investigation Coordinator, how badly he was railroaded by the cabal of sycophants surrounding Monifa McKnight, I felt like they were operating with utter moral turpitude. I think she needs to go, they need to go, and so does the entire school board.
Well, but let's return to Mike's question, which is how do we educate our children better?
Well, I mean, I think we haven't had a vision for where we want to move our education in Montgomery County forward in many, many years. And so while we can point to the superintendent, who obviously the superintendent plays a role in this, the Board of Education plays a role in this, and quite honestly, so does the county executive and the county council. I mean, where are we trying to go? There was a time when we used to have actually clarity because the county council, the county executive, the superintendent, the Board of Education actually sat down and had a discussion as to what were the key priorities, where did the funding need to go, why we're going to measure the outcomes, and what objectives were we seeking to achieve. We probably haven't done that in 15 years. And as a result, we don't have a clear path, and no one's really talking about how we get there from here, and we're kind of mired in the muck.